Yeah, those fourth quarter picks, 3 of them really hurt the Raiders' chances. But Jack Del Rio sat down with Carr this week and stressed to him to forget about the picks and keep firing the ball in there and keep trying to make that big play. Del Rio wants Carr to know that he thinks the 2 of them are going to experience real good things for the Raiders for years to come.
And today's game is being broadcast in Spanish where available using the SAP button on your television. Ronnie Hillman, starting running back for the Broncos. They're already dealing with an injury to C.J. Anderson, who is active, but Anderson having ankle trouble. Jawan Thompson saw more reps in practice this week. Oakland won the toss. They have deferred. Denver will receive to open up. The Broncos closing in on their 5th straight AFC West title as Janikowski bangs it through the back of the end zone, and Denver will have it at the 20-yard line. Well, you mentioned it, Brock Osweiler. He is 3-0, the second quarterback in team history to win his first 3 career starts. Craig Penrose, the other one to do it for Denver.
Yeah, and with the Raider pass defense ranked 28th in the league, you might expect the Broncos to turn Osweiler loose today and let him air it out. There'll be some chances against the style of pass defense. A lot of man-to-man with Charles Woodson roaming center field.
So Ronnie Hillman is in there, a 3-receiver set to open up. 1st and 10 from the 20. Take it, Osweiler underneath. Catch is made by Thomas. And accelerates across the 25 for a 6-yard pickup. Starting offense for Denver. Luis Vasquez is back at right guard. Max Garcia got the start last week, but we will see a lot of Garcia spelling Vasquez and Mathis today. There is Hillman, came in with some injury trouble prior to the warm-ups. He's dealing with a foot injury. The running game has really gotten going since Osweiler has been in the starting lineup. Play fake. Again, quick hitter. It's Hillman. Taking the angle, Ronnie Hillman picks up 12 on the catch and run. Chased by Curtis Lofton.
Good read by Brock Osweiler, looking to go deep. Comes down on his progression to Hillman. Hillman, in that pregame injury, his foot was stepped on by Tyler Columbus, and then he tweaked his ankle. So the foot injury may have been affected by the 308-pound Columbus as well as the ankle injury.
Osweiler on time. It's Demaryius Thomas. And the Broncos are on the move. It's a 14-yard pickup. Defensively for Oakland, Mario Edwards Jr. been impressive in his first year out of Florida State. Linebackers, Khalil Mack, 9 sacks on the season. And in the secondary, we're going to see a lot of mixing and matching. Taylor Mays has been in there in the first set of downs. DJ Hayden played the nickel last week. TJ Carey can swing between the corner and the safety, and it's Carey who's down for Oakland. He's been so valuable because of his versatility. 13:42 to go in the first. We'll step aside. TJ Carey walked off on his own. Nico Thorpe is now in for Oakland. Osweiler opens up 3 of 3 for Denver. Second catch for Demaryius Thomas. Motion man is Vernon Davis. They are in Oakland territory. Osweiler incomplete on a flag down. Emmanuel Sanders, the intended target.
They're going to call holding on Nico Thorpe. That's why Sanders was hit the ground.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Veteran referee Bill Vinovich. Nico Thorpe just checked in because of the injury to TJ Carey. And now Thorpe heads to the Oakland sideline. Peyton Manning is on the sideline for Denver. There were questions as to whether or not he would be back in the locker room. But he is out on the sideline, and he is wearing an earpiece.
What's that?
Running play. Thompson gets the carry, and he is spun down inside the 40. Autry and Ellis combine to bring him down.
Now we'll see Osweiler taking the snaps from under center for the majority of snaps today, and that's the way he likes it. He feels he can get the ball out more quickly on 3-step drops. The offensive can disguise the plays better, whether it's that stretch run game or the play action passes off it, and it's a better way to keep the Raiders off balance today.
So now a 2nd and 6. Inside the 30. Benson gets thrown down by Autry. Raiders were ready. It's a loss of 2 on the play. Jawan Thompson, the second-year running back out of Duke.
Yeah, big play. He gets inside of the block of Michael Schofield there. And before Thompson can even get 2 steps after the handoff, he is there. Good job by Thompson to hang on after that big hit by Autry.
They've got young players on this defense with Edwards, Autry, Mack. This is a 3rd and 8 now for Denver. They go backwards for Oakland. The pass is there for Sanders. Across the 30-yard line and another first down.
That's a face mask right there. They're reaching in there, DJ Hayden. And then no flag comes out. It's amazing you see the head turn like that. It's natural for the officials to think it might be face mask. And it was.
Osweiler, a perfect 4 of 4 for Denver. 2 tight ends in this formation, play action. Osweiler steps up, throws it underneath to Hillman. The curl. And a juke move by Hillman just short of the 20-yard line.
Now, if there's any question about whether his ankle is okay, all he had to do was watch that play. He made about 4 moves there, taking that short pass and cutting it up the field and faking out a couple of defenders for 8 yards on first down. Another positive passing play for Brock Osweiler. Perfect 5 for 5 for 52.
First possession of the day. Denver is now at the Oakland 21-yard line. Daniels and Davis, 2 tight ends. Motion man is Latimer. A bobble by Latimer on the end around. The Broncos getting cute. Raiders sniff it out. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah, getting cute is not a good idea here. When you're moving the ball as well as the Broncos are right here, it's a good handoff, but what Latimer does is he grabs for the ball. You got to let the quarterback just place it into the stomach there. The inexperience of Latimer on that reverse almost cost the Broncos dearly.
Benson made Owa with the stop, just the second rush attempt for Latimer this season. TJ Carey is back in there for Oakland. This is a 3rd and 6 now for Denver. Osweiler from the gun. Throw it to the outside. Thomas with the catch. And he's brought down quickly by Heaney. Rookie out of Kansas who has played very well for the Raiders. 2-yard pickup. Field goal unit is coming on for Denver.
And Bird, you can see just the game manager type of game plan they have for Osweiler. Nothing down the field yet. A lot of short passes, check downs. 1 crossing route that picked up the first down.
It'll be a 41-yard attempt for Brandon McManus. Having another excellent season. Same last year as a free agent. And he puts it through. Denver is on the board with a 3-0 lead. We've got 9:42 to go. First quarter, Carr and the Raiders offense on the field when we come back.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the NFL. And by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history.
Little snowboard action for Miles, the Broncos mascot, in Steamboat Springs yesterday. 10 plays, 57 yards. Osweiler went 6 of 6 on the drive. McManus field goal to put Denver in front 3-0. McManus kicking it off with Jeremy Ross and Tyron Jones deep for Oakland. Ross, corner of the end zone, is not going to take it out. Raiders will open up at the 20-yard line. And Derek Carr looking to bounce back after the 3-interception fourth quarter last week against the Chiefs.
Yeah, and in talking to Denver defensive coordinator Wade Phillips about Carr, he said he wants to pressure him today and see if he can make the plays he has never had to make before. When Carr has been under heavy pressure as of late, he's turned the ball over. Today he must prove to Phillips and the Broncos that he can make the right reads and throws to beat the blitz.
Injuries to Denver defensively. No TJ Ward, no David Bruton. Bradley Roby is starting right now for the Broncos. Hand off to Murray. trying to loop it to the outside. Murray is brought down after he picks up a yard. First man there, Malik Jackson. Starting offense for Oakland, Rodney Hudson is back. Hudson, one of the leaders of this Oakland offense, returning from the ankle injuries, missed 3 of the last 4 games. Michael Crabtree's got a brand new contract, 4 years, $35 million. Crabtree and the Raiders agreeing on that earlier this week. Bush and Ko are both in the dime for Denver. 2nd and 9. Carr, protection, and the ball deflected. Carr did not have enough loft on it, and it sets up 3rd and 9 for Jack Del Rio squad.
Yeah, fine play by Malik Jackson. Number 97 at 6'5". Watch him get up. Very athletic move right here with the right hand. Rough start for the Raiders. 1 yard on first down, and then a blocked pass on second down. Brings up a tough 3rd and 9.
They come in ranked number 12 in total offense. On 3rd and long, Carr nearly intercepted, a flag down over the head of Roberts. Josh Bush was in the area for the pick. Penalty marker at the 34.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense number 25. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Chris Harris Jr. is going to get the call. Remember, Harris had that 74-yard interception return for a touchdown in the first game. He's actually reached in, grabbed a little face mask as well.
So this keeps the drive going for Oakland. First down at the 26. 8:52 remaining in the opening quarter. Reese and Odelwali are in there right now for the Raiders. Reese up the middle. Brought down short of the 30-yard line. It's a 2-yard pickup. Brandon Marshall in on that stop. Marshall shifts over for Trevathan, who's out with a concussion.
Well, a little bit too much hesitation here by Marcel Reese here. There's the hole right there, and it takes him a while to get to it. That time the Broncos, with their linebackers as quick as anybody's in the NFL, close and make the tackle.
In the first meeting, Reese had 7 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown. 16-10 victory for Denver back on October the 11th. Murray is back in there. He gets the call. Murray back down as he crossed the 30. 3-yard gain met by Darian Stewart, who has had an excellent season for this Denver squad. Gary Kubiak was familiar with him. Kubiak was with Baltimore last year calling the plays. Gets the head coaching job in Denver, and Darian Stewart signs as a free agent.
Really crashed down quickly that time to hit Murray before he can get started. Murray, who's looking to go over 1,000 yards. It's 149 coming into today's game.
The last Raider to go over 1,000 yards, Darren McFadden, 5 years ago. 3rd in the NFL on 3rd down conversions. This is the 3rd and 5. Rush coming. Carr loses the football. Austin Howard is there. The menacing Von Miller.
Well, 10 sacks now on the year for number 58. Watch him just blow by. Nobody's there to pick him up. Austin Howard taking the inside rusher. The back releases. Nobody's blocking the most dangerous pass rusher that the Broncos have. And if you miss a block or you miss an assignment, you better get on that loose ball, as Austin Howard did.
Marquette King will punt it, averaging 43.5 yards per kick. Sanders waiting for it. It's returnable from the 26. Circling. Sanders flagged down back at the 13. Sanders taking the perimeter. He's out of bounds. Well, the penalty marker is back where King booted it.
Running into the kicker. Receiving team number 51. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 4th down.
Todd Davis called on the penalty. He tried to hold up and made contact with King, who did the little spin job at the end.
Yeah, King's a long strider too, so the Broncos think that they can get to him, but that time just a little bit late. And a good job though by Davis to avoid roughing the punter. That would have been an automatic first down.
So the running into penalty cost them 5 yards. It's a re-kick.
And that's how important that sack was by Von Miller, and the strip of Derek Carr pushed the Raiders back. That was a 3rd and 4.
So Sanders waiting for it at the 24-yard line of Denver. Can you see his shoes from here?
Is that what those are? Oh, he's working on the highway crew.
Marquette King will kick it. 6:40 mark of the first.
Oh, he's wearing a couple of pylons.
Not slowing him down.
Never would.
It was a 28-yard return on the last punt from King. Waiting to resume. Vinovich was over on the Oakland sideline, and Jack Del Rio had taken out the red flag. He'll stick it back in the left sock. John Kondo will snap it. Raiders come in at 5-7. 8 straight losses to the Denver Broncos. In their last 4, they're averaging 13.8 points per game against Denver, allowing 34.5. High kick, returnable.
He called for a fair catch.
He did. 51-yard punt. Sanders had room to work with. He might have misjudged it. Osweiler will take over with a 3-0 lead. Thursday only on NFL Network, the Bucs chase for a wild card spot. Heats up, they take on the Rams. Then a special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football. The Jets continue their playoff push against the Dallas Cowboys. 2 big showdowns this week only on NFL Network. 3-0 lead for Denver at home against the Oakland Raiders. The 113th all-time meeting. Series goes back to 1960, the old AFL days. A handoff. Hillman's got a lane. 2 flags down. The block from Ryan Harris, 11-yard pickup for Hillman.
Going to be a face mask on Mario Edwards.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 97. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Watch the left hand. Right to the face mask and then right down as he makes sure with the right hand pushing his head down. Easy call for 2 officials.
2nd-round draft pick, Mario Edwards Jr. Won a national championship with Florida State. He's been a mauler for Oakland, 6'3", 280 pounds. Pitch. Hillman cuts it upfield. Into Oakland territory on the spin. 6-yard pickup for Hillman. Davis and Harris key blocks. Up to the minute AFC playoff picture. Denver at 10-2. New England 10-2. Cincinnati drops to 10-3. There's Houston at 6-6. Kansas City and the Jets currently holding down the tie breaks against Pittsburgh. 2nd and 4, Osweiler. Swing it out by Thompson. It's a little move on the outside and a modest gain. He picks up only a yard. Brought down by Mack and Amerson for Oakland. This Denver team is 20-2 in the division since 2012. They've dominated the AFC West. Oakland Raiders are trying to build their team, build their program with Jack Del Rio. We've seen some flashes this year from the Raiders. Quality win over the Jets. Osweiler caught at the 40-yard line. Good enough for a first down. Jordan Norwood in a matchup with DJ Hayden. It covers 5 yards. They'll move the chains.
The Broncos now 2 of 3 converting 3rd downs. Why is that important? Obviously to keep the drive alive, but in the first game against these 2, they were just 2 of 13 on 3rd downs. Broncos, that's one area they have really struggled this year, is converting 3rd downs, where they're 29th in the league.
Gary Kubiak's quarterback, Brock Osweiler, is 8 of 8. Nothing flashy. Broncos have a 3-0 lead. 4:24 to go in the first. First down, Osweiler to throw it again. A strike! Vernon Davis. He's running the wrong way. Nearly had a Jim Marshall there. 19 yards on the catch.
Well, actually, it was a 24-yard gain, and then he gave back 5. Crossing route, left side of the screen. Look at the pass protection for Osweiler. Nice, clean throwing lane, and I'm not sure what Davis is thinking here, but it's the wrong thought.
Osweiler had high praise for Davis. He said he came to the team after the deal. He's been a tremendous teammate, great person, brings a positive attitude, leadership to the team, and he really has a good feel for the offense. Another first down for Denver. It's a pitch. Hillman. He's hit at the 20-yard line. He got clobbered there by Amerson, who's celebrating after the play. Gain of 1.
And the other thing about Vernon Davis, Bird, is the fact that he's a touchdown-making machine. 55 career touchdown that he made with the 49ers, and the Broncos can't wait to start using him more in the red zone.
Well, 2-time Pro Bowler. We know how tight ends factor into Gary Kubiak's system. Saw it in Houston, saw it last year in Baltimore. 2nd and 9 for Denver, under 3 minutes to go in the first. Osweiler over the middle, hooks up with Davis. And this time runs parallel instead of backwards. Malcolm Smith with a tackle. It's a 3.5-yard gain.
Now Davis is going to have to check his GPS here, because he does not know about north and south. Right now it's all east and west and giving yardage back to the Raiders.
Brock Osweiler has hit on his first 10 pass attempts. 3rd and 6. Thompson is in. Balanced offense so far for Denver. Shotgun. Osweiler over the middle. Almost intercepted.
And guess who?
Charles Woodson. Owen Daniels was the intended target, and Woodson is a little slow to get up.
Now he's looking for his 66th career interception. Daniels, the target on this one, gets inside the linebacker there. And that ball may have hit Woodson, went right through his hands, right to his face mask.
This is a 35-yard attempt now for Brandon McManus. Already made one from 41 yards away. Trying to add to the Denver lead. And he sticks it. It's got to be considered a victory, though, for the Oakland defense, holding Denver to back-to-back field goals. There was a chance to put more points on the board for the Broncos.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Better matters. And by K Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play and score, every game, and every highlight. Right as they happen, download the CBS Sports app now at cbssports.com/mobile. 9 plays, 61 yards for the Broncos. It ends with a field goal from McManus, who kicks it off now. Jeremy Ross will take it out of the end zone. Working the sideline. And he's hit by Latimer on special teams. 32-yard return. 6-0 lead for Denver over the Raiders in the first. Raiders fans traveling to Denver. I believe she was TSA pre, so there was no issue with security.
No, she didn't have to take her shoes off.
No, she's fine.
Or her helmet.
No, please keep your helmet on, miss, as you come through security. 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line for Oakland. It's been all Denver in the opening quarter. Carr throws on a toss to Michael Rivera. Hit by Brandon Marshall on the play. 4-yard pickup. So, for Jack Del Rio and the Raiders, a lot of promise. First 7 games, the word playoff started popping up in the Bay Area, but the last 5, 1-4, and that turnover differential has been a big part of it.
And a lot of games they could have and should have won.
2nd and 6. A loss today would clinch the Raiders' 13th consecutive non-winning season. Carr. Up in the air. Incomplete. They really like Clyde Walford, the rookie out of Miami. But Marshall and Stewart back there for Denver. It's 3rd and 6.
Well, and that's the matchup that Carr's been looking for, is to get Walford on a linebacker. Brandon Marshall running in a trail position for Walford there, but the ball overthrown, but Walford had him beat by about 2 yards.
The Raiders have 1 yard of offense. Marcel Reese is in there. Shotgun for Carr. Rush is coming. Carr, double clutch. And the throw is over the head of Cooper. The Raiders go 3 and out with 1:10 to go in the first.
This is a relentless pass rush. Best in the NFL. 42 sacks on the year so far. Miller's already got 1 and a forced fumble. But that speeds up the quarterback's clock just a little bit. The pressure up front did not allow Carr to follow through. The ball sailed high.
So once again, it's Marquette King punting with Emmanuel Sanders standing at his own 20-yard line. High punt. Sanders' range is over. And brings it into the 24, 46-yard kick. Frustration early for Derek Carr and the Raiders offense. A mile high. Tonight, Week 14 continues. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Tomorrow, Monday Night Football on ESPN. Then Week 15 kicks off Thursday Night Football on NFL Network. Broncos have it 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Just over a minute to go in this first quarter. Sports Authority Field at Mile High, which opened back in September of 2001. Brock Osweiler, 10 of 11, 82 yards in the opening quarter. Making his 4th straight start. The team is 3-0 with him at QB. Juwan Thompson in the backfield. Fake it. Osweiler setting up the deep ball. Airing it out. Separation, but too far. Emmanuel Sanders in an all-out sprint. Amerson and Mays, the last line of defense.
Now, the only thing that Amerson is going to see here are those orange shoes here. Ball is thrown 5 yards beyond Sanders, though. That's a touchdown. You're not going to get many shots like that in a ball game. You cannot afford to not connect with that because it's a huge gain down the field, if not a touchdown.
Owen Daniels, the motion man, on a 2nd and 10. It's a running play. Thompson keeps the legs churning and grinds out 5 yards on 2nd down.
Well, Osweiler now 10 of 12. He's hit 6 different receivers. 3 passes to Demarius Thomas. Emmanuel Sanders gets that one for 10 yards. And Vernon Davis for a couple of receptions here. But the pass protection has been outstanding. Osweiler's only been sacked 12 times in his limited time playing, but today the offensive line doing a great job.
And it was an area of concern throughout the majority of the season for Denver. Osweiler, 3rd and 5. He'll slide down. We talked to him about risk-reward, the chances that you take and when you take them.
And the big thing is that it's a tough thing for a young quarterback is you want to make every play. You want to impress your teammates. You want to move the ball down the field. But he's got to learn, as he did that time, he doesn't have to make every play, especially with how good this defense is.
And to the first quarter with the Broncos in front, 6-0. We'll return to Denver after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Raiders had 361 yards of offense last week in the loss to Kansas City. 1 yard in the first quarter. 4th down, Britton Colquitt will kick it, 43.6 yards per kick. Jeremy Ross is deep. He's averaging 10.5 yards per return. Moving forward. He muffed it. 34-yard punt, and Ross got it back. Raiders will have it at the 35-yard line to start the second quarter.
He's going to muff this ball, then get right down on top of it before Brandon Marshall can get in there. And the wrestling match begins. Latimer as well trying to dig it out.
Jeremy Ross, who's played with Green Bay, Detroit, Baltimore, getting an opportunity as a return man for Oakland. And fortunate that he did not turn that ball over. First down at the 35 for the Raiders. They have not been able to generate any offense so far. Murray in the backfield. Take it. Carr to throw. Incomplete. Amari Cooper got hit by Chris Harris Jr.
Yeah, ball off target. Leading Cooper too far down the field. Slant routes you got to put right on the receiver. Cooper maybe hesitated just a little bit there. That threw off the target for Carr.
Going against the #1 defense in the NFL, Cooper heads to the Oakland sideline, shaken up on the play. Denver #1 in total defense, #2 in points allowed.
And #1 in pass defense.
Second and 10. It's a running play. Murray tries to spin, and the Broncos swarm to the ball. Shane Ray leading the charge. No gain. Tomorrow on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Stephen welcomes Jennifer Lawrence. Plus, later in the week, Robert De Niro in Homeland, Mandy Patinkin, only CBS. So DeMarcus Ware back in there for Denver. What a lift he can provide for a team that doesn't really need much of one on that side of the ball. He's missed a total of 5 games with a lower back injury. He was chomping at the bit to get back in there. They're going to limit him to about 20 plays today. Carr, deep drop, out of the pocket. Carr is sacked. Derek Wolfe, hungry.
Now the pressure that's been on Carr throughout the day is forcing this mistake here. He has room to step up into the pocket, except Von Miller chases him out right into the arms of Derek Wolfe. 15 yards on the loss.
And another punt from Marquette King. This defense, led by Wade Phillips in his 37th year in the NFL. You talk to any defensive player on the Broncos, they say the same thing. What a pleasure it's been to play for Wade and how fun he makes it with his aggressive mentality. Sanders the return. Breaks a couple of tackles with a flag down back at the 36-yard line. 52-yard punt, 17-yard return. Sanders ended up on his backside.
Yeah, he was thrown down hard, or it was out of bounds. Ben Heaney got him, but the flag is not at that point on the field. Maybe an illegal block against the Broncos.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 36. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Denver keeps the ball. First down.
It's Kayvon Webster called on the penalty. Brock Osweiler off to a good start. He's 10 of 12 for 82 yards. But his team looking for their first touchdown of the day. 6-0 Denver over Oakland. Second quarter action continues.
The previous foul was on number 37, not 36.
All right, so Bill Vinovich gets that cleared up. But what this team has done at home has been remarkable since 2012. 26-3. Best winning percentage over that span, just ahead of New England. Pass to the outside. Thomas gets up after the catch. And short of a first down. Osweiler to Thomas for 9 yards for Denver.
Yeah, Thomas had 6 catches last week for 61 yards. He's off to a good start today. That's his 4th catch, and I like the hustle to get up off the turf and pick up maybe a yard there after the errant throw by Osweiler.
Demaryius Thomas saying that Brock has really stepped up as a leader. He's been vocal. He's managing the game well. Dillman runs into a wall At the 35, no gain on the play on a 2nd and 1. Heaney and Williams collaborate on the hit. So it'll be 3rd and 1 now for Denver. Demaryius Thomas, over 1,000 yards for the 4th consecutive season, 2nd player in team history to do it. Rod Smith, who recorded 8 of them in his Broncos career. 3rd and 1 for Denver.
What's up?
Osweiler to throw. Offline. Flag down. Nico Thorpe in a matchup with Demaryius Thomas on a 3rd and 1.
And this is more important if Khalil Mack
Fire
can't
to the
get off the
pass.
ground.
Holding. Defense number 31. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's 3 penalties now against the Raiders. You see the left hand on the hip of Demaryius Thomas. A little delay route to the outside, and there's the grab by Thorpe.
And Dan, Mack appears to be okay. He stays in there. He was slow to get up. Oakland negative 14 total yards. So new set of downs for Denver. Just under 12 minutes to go in this first half. Jawan Thompson is gang tackled for no gain on the play. Justin Ellis, first man to greet him.
Now, the Raiders did a real good job stopping the run in the first game between these two. They allowed just 43 yards rushing to the Broncos, and so far on this drive, they've stuffed the Bronco running attack right at the line of scrimmage.
Ken Norton Jr. in his first year as defensive coordinator with the Oakland Raiders. 3 Super Bowls in his career, 3 Pro Bowls as a talented linebacker back in the day. 2nd and 10, dump it off. Thompson works his way across the 45. It's a 7-yard catch and run. Heaney and Smith combine on the hit. So Thompson seeing extended action. C.J. Anderson is active, but Anderson is yet to play and probably will not with the ankle trouble.
Watch how the linemen get out in front of the screen pass. That's 3 big bodies there in front of Thompson. And he's got enough to bring up a very manageable 3rd down.
Broncos will go empty here on a 3rd and 3. 2 out of 5 on 3rd down conversion so far. From the gun, Osweiler squeezes it into a window. Vernon Davis. First down, 8 yards. Heaney and Smith, the 2 defenders, as Osweiler fires it to his target.
Well, this is where he's looking, right down the field here. And watch this window close on number 80, right between the linebackers. Perfect throw by Osweiler. But again, there's no pressure. Nobody's in his face. Nobody's forcing him to move.
On first down, out route, catch. Sanders tried to curl it inside. Forced back to the outside by Nico Thorpe, and Heaney over there as well. 6-yard gain.
And really good timing on that 5-step drop. The back foot hit the ground, and the ball was coming out to Sanders. Defense really helpless to react to that type of timing between quarterback and receiver.
And Dan, nothing eye-popping here from Brock Osweiler and the Denver offense, just efficient. Now they've settled for 2 field goals as opposed to touchdowns, and still trying to get it into the end zone. A 6-0 lead for Denver. Take the handoff. Here's the bootleg from Osweiler. They like him on the move. Osweiler connects inside the 40 to Owen Daniels. Close to a first down, not quite enough. Malcolm Smith along with Leon Orr.
That was a real nice job of Owen Daniels stopping his route. It was a crossing route trying to mirror the quarterback's rollout, but he saw the defense in front of him. He stopped. Osweiler read it and threw him the ball perfectly.
It's a long 1 yard. 3rd and 1 for Denver. We're under 9 minutes to play now in the second quarter. 5 straight completions for Osweiler. Running play. Up the middle. Hillman. No gain.
And again, the Broncos struggling converting 3rd downs, this time with the running play to Ronnie Hillman, this is where they really miss C.J. Anderson and his power.
They are keeping the offense on the field, and they are urging the fans to quiet down here. Right now, they would be staring at a 55-yard field goal attempt. Instead, Gary Kubiak is going for it.
Well, he knows what type of defense he has and how well they're playing here in the first half if they don't make it.
Shotgun for Osweiler. Motion man Hillman. Osweiler running. Osweiler gets there. First down. Part of the scouting report on Osweiler, his ability to use his legs. Something Peyton Manning told him 4 weeks ago. Don't be afraid to get out there and run if it's there for you.
Well, the key block here is by Ronnie Hillman, left side of the screen. And then out in front as well, Ryan Harris. Osweiler picks up 5 yards and a big first down on fourth down.
Jawan Thompson and Hillman to the Denver sideline. They'll throw it again. Osweiler knocked up in the air. Oh, it's caught. Demaryius Thomas. Well, that's when you know everything's going your way. That's a 50-50 ball that ends up in the hands of the Pro Bowl receiver for 16 yards.
Well, it hit the hands of number 90 at first right there, Dan Williams, and then it's a one-handed grab by Demaryius Thomas. Watch Williams with his left hand, and now Thomas with his left hand in a crowd.
And Osweiler is 16 of 18, 131 yards. Play fake. Osweiler fires over the middle. It's caught. Benny Fowler works his way to the 5. That's a 12-yard pickup. Everybody is contributing right now for Denver on offense.
Just his 14th catch of the season, and it's another tight window for Osweiler to squeeze it in there before the hit by Malcolm Smith. 8th different receiver for Osweiler.
First and goal for Denver. Timeout. Hillman was trying to communicate with Sanders. And Brock Osweiler will head over to the Denver sideline to talk about it. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the latest NFL scores and highlights. Boomer jotting down some notes, so is Tony. All coming up, Verizon Halftime Report. Brock Osweiler is a perfect 7 of 7 on this drive for 61 yards. And the Broncos looking for their first touchdown of the day. 5:56 remaining, second quarter.
Yeah, he just looks so confident right now. And when you get confidence, when you have time to throw, and your receivers are getting open, the timing has been really good.
12th play of the drive. Running play, Hillman. He stopped. Dan Williams among those there for Oakland. It'll be second and goal for the Broncos. 6 carries, 17 yards for Hillman.
And the Broncos averaging 2 yards a carry. It's about the only thing they're not doing well today.
Loss of 1 on the play. This will be the 33rd play from scrimmage for Denver. Oakland has 11. Second and goal. It's a pitch. Hillman. Look to the wide side. That is dropped behind the 10. Ben Heaney. Khalil Mack also setting the edge. A loss of 6 on the play.
You really got to question the play selection these last 2 plays. The Raiders have done a great job. Mack that time forces Hillman back to the middle of the field. But you've got a quarterback that's absolutely sizzling. 17 of 19 for 143. You run 2 disastrous running plays. And now you got to burn another timeout.
Well, it looks like Oakland may have called the timeout. They did. So 2 timeouts now remaining for the Raiders. Derek Carr has thrown the ball 5 times. Brock Osweiler 19. And this has been a mismatch so far where the Broncos in front 6-0 over Oakland.
Denver's run 33 plays, Oakland 11.
The last 3 times they've played here in Denver, the Broncos have outscored the Raiders by a combined 121-41 score. Broncos are 20-2 in the division since 2012. It's just been an incredible run within the AFC West.
And we talked yesterday to Demaryius Thomas about the back shoulder fade and the willingness of Brock Osweiler to put the ball up for him to out-jump somebody. There he is right here.
3rd and goal for Denver. Shotgun Osweiler. Lines it up. Almost intercepted. It went through the hands of Sanders. Nico Thorpe in the area for Oakland. And it's 4th down, McManus time.
Yeah, you can see that Sanders immediately after he dropped this ball points to his chest saying, "My fault." Ball well thrown. Mack, who's come into the game with back-to-back games with a pair of sacks, hasn't been able to get near Osweiler yet.
29-yard attempt for McManus. He's got it. Well, if you're the Oakland Raiders, the bend but don't break mentality has worked. They're down only 9-0.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Dodge, McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before, and by Best Buy. Win the holidays.
Dan, this is our CBS crew trying their hand at curling last night at the Denver Curling Club. I actually have Terry Rosich on my curling fantasy team, so I was very, very happy with the performance. That's our technical director.
Do they really want to be identified after that? I don't see even a bronze there. They're not. What is lower than bronze?
You saw no curling talent from that video.
Well, they good deep knee bends.
You want more curling, Dan?
Absolutely. Can't get enough.
Look at the form on Hans. On Monday night, Broncos players helped spread holiday cheer. Players posed for pictures, signed autographs, decorated cookies with kids at Denver Rescue Mission's annual holiday party. Nice cause. Broncos, so much that they do in this community. And this is a football town, and they have such a tremendous fan base. We talked to Jack Del Rio about it. He was the defensive coordinator here for 3 years before becoming the head coach of the Raiders. Loved his time here. First down for Oakland. Right now the Raiders aren't enjoying their time here at all. Deflected, and Carr cannot get clean passes off right now. Von Miller there defensively for Denver. This goes back to last week for Oakland. 4th quarter against the Chiefs, interception, missed field goal, interception, gave it away on downs, and then 3 straight punts on their first 3 possessions today in Denver.
Yeah, Carr's first pass of the day was deflected at the line of scrimmage. Von Miller got a piece of that one, so he's just 1 of 6 for just 4 yards.
2nd and 10 for Oakland. Carr dealing with the crowd noise as well. Toss it to the outside. Caught by Crabtree as we send it downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, the Raiders desperate for some success on offense, and the message from Jack Del Rio this week, coming off that 4th quarter collapse last week against Kansas City, was number 1, this team is going to continue to grow no matter the circumstance, obviously the postseason. But he wanted to make this game physical, saying we want to bloody the Broncos' noses. We haven't seen that at all to this point.
And we're under 4 minutes to go now in this first half. They have minus 11 total yards. 3rd and 7. Carr off his back foot, timing around. Too far. Amari Cooper, the talented rookie from Alabama, trying to get to the 1,000-yard receiving mark. He came in 80 yards shy. Bradley Roby there defensively for Denver, and it's a 3-and-out once again for Oakland.
Well, and Cooper had half a step on Roby, but again, the internal clock of a young quarterback under pressure was off to a rough start, speeding up and forced that ball a little bit long.
King to punt it. Sanders at his own 30-yard line waiting for it. Sanders moves forward, brings it in cleanly at the 36. That's where Denver will have it after the 41-yard punt. Osweiler has been outstanding. Denver, though, still does not have a touchdown on the board.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Zales. Declare your love with gifts from Zales, the Diamond Store. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Well, great to have Cousin It here in Denver.
You know, back in the 70s, had a shag carpet just like that.
San Diego, that was your bachelor pad?
That was at Oregon, actually.
Oh, and
it was a brand new apartment, too, and this shag was about 6 inches deep.
You understand they're back now. If you still had that carpet, it would be in.
Really?
Absolutely. eBay.
180! What's that?
He's got it.
First down at the 32. Ronnie Hillman bangs his way out near the 40, line of scrimmage, the 37. Khalil Mack in on that stop. It's a 2-yard pickup for Denver. So 9-0 lead for the Broncos. Brock Osweiler is in his 4th year in the NFL. Dan, we talked to Gary Kubiak about the quarterback situation. He said, hey, this is old school. Osweiler sat back and watched and learned a lot by watching Peyton Manning.
It makes you think about all these number 1 picks that are forced to play right away that don't succeed, and they're out of the league in a couple of years.
Squeezing that one in to the sideline, and Demaryius Thomas for a first down. TJ Carey there defensively. It's a 9-yard pickup. We're thinking back in somewhat recent years as Osweiler hits his target. Phillip Rivers sat behind Drew Brees. Carson Palmer sat behind John Kitna. They weren't thrown to the Wolves right away.
And I can name you 5 or 6 number 1 picks that were thrown to the Wolves right away that had failure, their confidence suffered, and they were soon backup quarterbacks are out of the league.
How about Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers is a great example, sitting behind Brett Favre, another legend.
Hand off to Ronnie Hillman into Oakland territory. On the zigzag move, he picks up 3. Curtis Lofton will get credit for the stop. Denver in no rush here. That's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. With the Broncos in front, 9-0 over the Raiders. Denver looking for more. Also looking to improve to 11-2 on the season. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, NFL scores, highlights, and analysis of this first half, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 2nd and 7 for Denver. 2 minutes to go in this first half. They've got a 9-0 lead on Oakland. Osweiler fires to the open man. Vernon Davis gets to the outside. He's got a first down for the Broncos. So another weapon for Denver to utilize.
Yeah, 4th time now that Osweiler has found Vernon Davis, and this time he makes a little move and then gets up the field and out of bounds to stop the clock.
First down inside the Oakland 40. Down to a minute 53 to play. Osweiler airing it out. Hauled in by Davis. He's down at the 14 with a minute 38 and counting left in this second quarter.
Well, watch Davis come right down the seam here and get in behind the linebackers. And again, Osweiler can see him all the way, tosses it right over the top of Malcolm Smith. Good for 23.
Now, Dan, you've talked about it. Very little pressure that Osweiler has had to deal with. And another 3 release for Davis. Osweiler, swing it to the outside. Hillman, oh, he lost the football. Gets it back. Tried to make a move out on the perimeter.
Yeah, Edwards does a great job of swatting this ball out. Watch the left hand right at the fingertips there. And Hillman with great reaction and maybe a lucky bounce. This is the type of play the Raiders desperately needed. But Hillman recovers his fumble.
It's a loss of 5 on the play. 2nd and 15 now for Denver. We're down to 35 seconds to go, first half.
180! What's up?
Osweiler. He'll clock it at the feet of Ronnie Hillman. Stops the clock with 28 seconds to go. 3rd and 15 for the Broncos.
But that's a smart throwaway. It was a screen pass that did not develop. The Raiders were in the middle of the screen. Osweiler smartly throwing it away. You know, that fumble that Hillman had there was just their 6th this year offensively. And they've only lost 1 fumble. That's remarkable for this late stage of the season.
Broncos had 19 turnovers in their first 9 games. 2 turnovers in their last 3 with 6 takeaways coming in. So a major reversal there. Obviously Manning was struggling with the interceptions. 17 of them before the plantar fasciitis got him out of the lineup. Timeout. Payton's not the offensive coordinator, Dan, but he knows to block his lips.
Yeah, he's got the communication in his right ear so he can hear the play and just practicing. You never practice enough, you know. Payton's one of those guys.
He's a rep guy.
Always aware.
He likes reps. 3rd and 15 from the 19. 28 seconds to go, first half. Shotgun, rush is coming. Osweiler gets rid of it. It's caught inside the 5. Looking to get to the goal line. Demaryius Thomas comes up short. Clock is moving. We're down to 17 seconds left, and Osweiler calls a timeout.
This is the first time that Osweiler's had to move in the pocket, but look at Demaryius Thomas with the big body there. Catches the ball at about the 7. Thorpe misses the tackle, and the Raiders takes 4 or 5 to get him on the ground after that 17-yard catch.
Yeah, Thomas hurt on the play. Heads over to the Denver sideline.
Yeah, right on that left shoulder there. Big hit that time by T.J. Carey.
So they will check out Demaryius Thomas after the catch. He took a shot from Carey.
You see the trainers reaching in the shoulder pads. They're checking the collarbone. Watch the left shoulder there. The helmet right on the shoulder by Carey. Good legal clean hit.
Denver has an extra offensive lineman in. It's Ferentz. Fake the handoff. Osweiler back in the end zone. Too high. Virgil Green was open.
Yeah, Green is 6'5", and Osweiler is just going to hurry this throw. No need to. You can see no Raider anywhere near. And the security guy gets drilled in the back there. Good sign for the Broncos to see 88 back in the Bronco huddle.
2nd and goal for Denver. 14 seconds left. 5 receiver set. Osweiler gets rid of it quickly. He loses the ball. Demaryius Thomas never had it cleanly.
Well, you wonder if the shoulder injury affected his attempt to get the ball across the goal line, as he caught it just short of the goal line and starts to reach for the end zone here and never really had control. No catch.
David Amerson over there for Oakland.
Yeah, good play by Amerson as he pulls Thomas's hands apart.
Can the Raiders stop the Broncos again? 3rd and goal. Osweiler pulls the trigger. Incomplete. Trying to hit Thomas. And it's 4th down. T.J. Carey there defensively for the Raiders.
Well, good timing by Carey. Perfect timing as he arrived the same time the ball did. But the ball thrown to the inside. It looked like Thomas was kind of checking up. Two of them just getting used to each other. This is the 4th game now for Osweiler.
And a chip shot here for McManus. It's good. 20-yarder makes it 12-0 Denver. Osweiler had his chances. Broncos unable to cash in. 4 seconds remaining in this first half.
Yeah, Jack Del Rio's got to be happy. His defense playing extremely well, shutting down the Bronco running attack and keeping the Broncos out of the end zone. But now about that offense, been very offensive.
2 of 8, Derek Carr, 7 yards. Gary Kubiak's defense has done the job. They've made life difficult on Carr. No running game. 3 carries, 4 yards for Murray. The 4 field goals for McManus ties a career high for a game. He's got him in the first half. So a 12-0 advantage for Denver. McManus will kick it off.
You know, if you're one of the special teamers that have to run under kicks for Denver, you never have to tackle anybody. What a great job.
Clean jersey.
Yeah, you don't get hit. Ball goes out of the back of the end zone every time. Thin air and a strong leg. Good combination.
Is it a touchback?
Are you kidding me?
It was rhetorical.
I knew the answer.
So 4 seconds left. Gary Kubiak's team is going to hit the locker room with a 12-0 lead over Oakland. 3-game winning streak for the Broncos, that coming after back-to-back losses. Currently a 2.5-game lead over Kansas City in the AFC West. Carr will take a knee. And that'll do it for the first half here in Denver. Broncos 12, Raiders nothing. In the 113th all-time meeting between these two franchises. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, Coach, what factors have led to the negative yardage, total yardage offensively, you think?
We haven't been able to complete anything. Took a sack, so that ends up being negative yardage in a pass game. The run game has been, 1 yard here, 2 yards there, no yards. So we've been dominated in the first half. Our offense has not been able to do anything. Defensively, we stuck around. We hung around. We're not letting them in the end zone. That gives us a chance. We got a 2-score game right now. We got to go in and make some adjustments, make sure we can start moving the ball.
Coach, thanks.
Yep.
All right, Evan, their longest play in the first half for Oakland, 4 yards. 1 half of play complete in Denver and a 12-0 lead for the Broncos. The Verizon Halftime Report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. Carr, deep drop, out of the pocket. Carr is sacked. Osweiler knocked up in the air. Oh, it's caught. Demaryius Thomas. Well, that's when you know everything's going your way. We get you ready for the start of the second half in Denver. The Broncos 12, the Raiders nothing. Iron Eagle Hall of Famer Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn down on the sideline. Well, this is a rivalry that's been controlled by the Broncos in recent years. From the Raiders' point of view, they've been trying to get to that next level. The numbers are very ugly at the break for Jack Del Rio squad.
Well, they've run 15 plays. Denver's run 45 plays. Raiders do not have a first down, but it's a two-score game at this point. So for the Raiders, they get the ball to start the second half. Go back to your original game plan of running the ball up the middle and try to give your quarterback some pass protection so you can get the ball down the field.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So we start this third quarter with Denver kicking it off. Brandon McManus, Tywan Jones, Jeremy Ross, are paired deep for Oakland. Boy, could they ever use something in the return game right now. Will they get a chance? They will not. Raiders will have it at the 20. We send it downstairs to Evan.
Guys caught up with Gary Kubiak, and it was all about the run game. Remember, this group is without C.J. Anderson. He's active, but really in an emergency role. Now, it feels like Juwan Thompson can pick that role up, but he just feels like they need to do a better job. Again, in the red zone, that's where they've been 0 for 3. It feels like negative runs in the red area have led to the lack of touchdowns, guys.
Well, they had opportunities to put the ball in the end zone. A couple of running plays that went in the wrong direction, set them up with a 3rd and goal, but deeper in the red zone, and they couldn't cash in. Broncos are 7-0 and leading at halftime this season. They've got the lead here 12-0. The cut by Murray, and picks up just a yard on first down. Miller and Marshall bring him down.
It's been a rough first half for Derek Carr. 2 of 8 for 7 yards. First pass deflected by Malik Jackson. Then he had a drop pass by Amari Cooper. He overthrows Walford here. And then a couple of sacks. 2 sacks that lost 24 yards. That's why the Raiders at halftime have negative yardage.
Denver is just loading up the box right now. To the outside, Murray finally gets a little bit of daylight, and he is out of bounds. Shane Ray over there, and they pick up 6 yards on the play. That's the longest play of the game for Oakland.
Well, good block on the perimeter by Donald Penn as he allowed Murray to get to that corner and pick up that yardage. But now the Raiders, who could not convert on 3rd down in the first half, 0 for 4, need this one badly to keep this one going.
Raiders actually come in 3-3 on the road this season. Wins over Cleveland, San Diego, and Tennessee. Losses at Chicago, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. Carr, it's caught. Crabtree, and he's got just enough. First down. Aqib Talib over there for Denver.
And a smart move by Bill Musgrave, offensive coordinator, to move the pocket here. A little sprint out for Carr. He could get the ball quickly to Crabtree, and Crabtree knew exactly what he needed to get to that 30-yard line to get the first down.
6 offensive linemen. Bill Musgrave sends Khalif Barnes in for Oakland. Line of scrimmage is just across the 30. Cooper, the motion man.
What's up?
Cooper's been shut out. Carr steps up. Carr flings it downfield. In stride. Michael Rivera with the catch. 29 yards on the play. Injured Raider. Hudson over there to check on Austin Howard, who is down for Oakland. Veteran tackle Austin Howard just limped off the field for Oakland. In protection, he got caught underneath. And here's the change. Jamarcus Webb moves from right guard to right tackle. Tony Bergstrom, who had been filling in for Rodney Hudson at center, is now at right guard. First play in Denver territory today for Oakland. It's a pitch. Murray waits for his blockers. Nothing develops for Murray. Shaquille Barrett, first man there, no gain.
Longest pass reception of the year for Michael Rivera on this crossing route. Watch this, it's man-to-man coverage, and he uses his speed to get inside the defensive back and then just run away. The pass protection is good for Carr, and he puts the ball right on the money with 29 yards.
12-0 lead for Denver. Carr has hit on his first 2 pass attempts of this 3rd quarter. Murray releases out of the backfield. Carr swings it downfield. Hauled in. Caught by Walford. Every week, Walford continues to show that he can play at this level. 3rd round draft pick, a big target.
And he uses that big body to make the fingertip catch down the field. Another big gain for the Raiders. This one 25 yards. 6'4" and athletic, and he's got a bright future as a Raider tight end.
So the line of scrimmage is now the 15. First time that Oakland has threatened Denver today. Working out of the gun, Carr. Take the handoff. Carr. Forced out. On the move. Carr throws to the sideline. It's Crabtree. Nice grab by Michael Crabtree for 9 yards.
There's never ever been a question about the hands of Michael Crabtree as he reaches out for this one. Gets both feet in and real close to a first down. Left foot down, right foot just scrapes the top of the grass.
Crabtree telling us that Carr has really grown throughout the season, but you know there's always going to be growing pains with a young quarterback in this league. Now Khalif Barnes is in at right tackle, and Webb is back at right guard. 2nd and 2. Murray up the gut. Gets hit before he could get to the marker.
Part of the Raider game plan running the ball was to run it between the tackles because the Broncos with Sylvester Williams, he had an ankle injury at nose tackle, TJ Ward, David Bruton, and Omar Bolden out as safeties. And of course, Danny Trevathan as the Mike linebacker. So the Raiders felt they had an advantage running the ball, and as Evan Washburn said, bloodying the Broncos' noses.
74 yards on this drive. Can they punch it in on a 3rd and 1? Touchdown! Latavius Murray, but a flag. Penalty marker on the far side.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 88. 5-yard penalty. Go 3rd down.
Boy, rookie mistake by Clive Walford, negating a touchdown run here. You can see that little flinch here by number 88.
So back it up to the 11-yard line for Oakland.
And that was just what we were talking about, running the blast play right up the middle, and Murray got in easily, all negated by the offsides.
It's a 3rd and 6. Carr floats it upstairs. Seth Roberts, touchdown! Roberts continues to produce for Oakland. He's got a flair for the dramatic in his first year out of West Alabama. Raiders are on the board.
Tremendous move against Bradley Roby. Fakes the slant, goes to the corner. This is his 26th catch of the year. 5 of them have been good for touchdowns. And of course, they're going to take a look at that, see if he had possession as he slid out of the back of the end zone.
Crabtree had high praise for Roberts, saying that he works really hard. Every day he's trying to create good habits for himself, and he's ultra competitive. To get to the NFL out of West Alabama, practice squad guy last year. Confident. And now the question is whether or not it's going to stay on the board.
There may not be enough evidence to turn this one in the Broncos' favor. It is being reviewed, obviously. Scoring passes, scoring plays are all reviewed upstairs.
Will it stand for Oakland? We'll find out in a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency. Low fares, nothing to hide. Kelly Blue Book. Find out what you should pay for your next new car at KBB.com. And by The Revenant. January 8th, only in theaters.
After reviewing the play, the route on the field stands. Touchdown.
No, the touchdown card to Roberts to cut into the Denver lead. 9:47 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Carr on the drive, 5 for 5, 77 yards. He got bailed out with a couple of beautiful catches by Walford, and that one by Roberts.
Jack Del Rio telling Evan Washburn, hey, we're going to make some adjustments at halftime. They have.
Well, and the fact that they're only down by 12 at halftime had to lift their spirits.
Extra point from Janikowski, who actually missed one last week. He had made 225 in a row until that miss. Another look. Carr going upstairs, and Roberts laying out for the grab. Seth Roberts on the receiving end of that touchdown pass from Derek Carr. It's now 12-7 Broncos. 9:47 to go in the third quarter. Play was under review, as all scoring plays are, and they determined that it is indeed a touchdown. Janikowski will kick it off. Cody Latimer, the deep man, he won't touch it. Broncos will have it at the 20. Let's check in with our rules expert, Mike Carey, in our studio in New York. Mike, what'd you see on that play?
Well, what you're looking for when a receiver goes to the ground, first it was clear that he was in the end zone, but was not clear was did he lose control when he hit the ground. You could see the ball moving slightly. His left hand appears to stay on it, but there's nothing here that clearly tells you that you can confirm or reverse this call. So stands is the right call here.
All right, Mike, thank you. Great grab to get Oakland on the board. Ronnie Hillman is cut down by Edwards, limiting Hillman to a 4-yard pickup.
Yeah, Mike Carey played his college ball at Santa Clara in the same backfield with the great Dan Pastorini.
How about that?
Tremendous.
Showing up with Mike Carey trivia.
Not trivial to him.
The trivia. Hillman to the outside. Stiff arm. Angled out of bounds. David Allison over there for Oakland. And all of a sudden, Denver finds itself in a dogfight here in a game that they dominated in the first half but could never get it in the end zone. The 4 field goals for the Broncos gave them a 12-0 lead. Oakland scores on its first possession of the second half. And now Denver facing a 3rd and 5. Osweiler, 22 of 29, 199 yards through the air. On 3rd down, Osweiler is dumped. Back at the 15, Khalil Mack. Mack knifes in for Oakland. Jack Del Rio pumps the fist.
And he's going to beat Schofield here. And Osweiler was not able to step up in the pocket because of the good pressure by Mario Edwards Jr. as well. Mack, who had 2 sacks against Kansas City last week, 2 the week before against Tennessee, and gets that one. Broncos going backwards, 10 yards on that loss.
10 sacks on the season, first Raider to do it since Derek Burgess and Lawrence Sapp went double digits in 06.
I got it!
Ross will not get an opportunity. That punt from Colquitt is out of bounds. And Oakland's going to get the football at the 40-yard line. What a turn this game is taking. The Mack sack for the Raiders.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Hyundai, an official sponsor of the NFL, and by Clean Crisp Coors Light.
Well, that's troubling on many levels.
Well, look at that form.
Hey, NFL fans, order your holiday gifts. Maybe a Bird in the Beard t-shirt. 8:06 to go in the third. 12-7 Broncos. Carr lofts it too far for Walford. It's incomplete. Well, holiday gifts available for you at NFLshop.com. Save up to 20% at the official store of the NFL, NFLshop.com.
Yeah, how do you get one of those t-shirts, though?
It's a limited edition, Dan. 2nd and 10 for the Raiders. Knee injury for Austin Howard. His return is questionable. Khalif Barnes is in there. Crabtree could not secure it. Bradley Roby drawing the assignment for Denver, and it's 3rd and 10 for Oakland.
Yeah, you go back to the previous play when Carr overthrew Walford. Same type of situation in the first half. The deep corner route to Walford, who's got really good speed. He was matched up with a linebacker, Shaq Barrett. Before it was the linebacker, Brandon Marshall. That's what the Raiders are looking for. Walford on a linebacker.
4 receivers set. Flag down.
Another false start.
False start. Offense number 61. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
And now you're just playing into the hands of this great pass rush. Marcus Ware on the field. On one end of the line of scrimmage, on the other, Von Miller.
The NFL Today feature earlier this afternoon on the Denver defense. This group has really come together. Miller and Talib were the spokespeople in that feature for the Denver D, the no-fly zone. It's just tough to move the football on these guys. Third and 15. Carr, nobody home. Cooper in the general vicinity. Now that play never developed for Oakland.
Carr's lucky it wasn't picked off because it's a pick six if it is. That's what happens when you have an offsides on 3rd and 10. You cannot afford to hold the ball on a 3rd and 15 as long to get your receivers down the field to get the first down. And the result, incomplete pass.
Marquette King will punt it for Oakland. 7:52 to play. Third quarter in Denver. Emmanuel Sanders at the 20. That's a booming kick from King. Sanders backpedals from the 16. Takes a shot as he went down to the 24. Corey Toomer on special teams, 50-yard punt, 9-yard return. Brock Osweiler 3-0 in the games that he has started. So quarterbacks who have won 4 or more career starts to open their career. Roethlisberger 15, Culpepper 7, Bolger, Warner, Drew Brees, and A.J. Feely round out the list. Line of scrimmage is the 24. Shotgun. Osweiler. Knocked up in the air, and then Osweiler, all 6'8" of him, knocks it down like he was defending the rim.
Trying to get the ball out quickly out of the shotgun formation here. And again, it's Mario Edwards, second time today he's been able to read the quarterback's eyes, get up in the air, and block the pass.
Jawan Thompson remains in there. 2nd and 10 for Osweiler. Makes the connection with Thomas. Short of a first down, brought down by Amerson, the former Washington Redskin. It's a 7-yard pickup through the air.
And that's 8 catches for Demaryius Thomas for 81 yards. He seems to have shaken off that shoulder injury.
So Thomas himself has outgained the Oakland offense. Over 1,000 yards for the 4th time in his career. Oh, the ball pops free after the catch by Thomas. Charles Woodson comes away with it.
That's 3 fumble recoveries for Woodson on the year, and the 2nd fumble on the season that's been lost by Demaryius Thomas. They have the first down with the catch. Question is, was he down before the ball was popped out? Looked like it was loose there. Ben Heaney coming over. Give him credit for forcing that fumble. Look at that left hand right on the ball.
It is Heaney, the high-energy linebacker, 5th-round pick from Kansas, forcing the fumble, and the ageless wonder Charles Woodson on the recovery.
I talked to Rick Dennison, offensive coordinator for the Broncos, and he talked about Woodson being a ball magnet. Good example of a ball magnet right there. On the ball quickly, and the Raiders get a huge break.
The Raiders open up at the Denver 41. Broncos 12, Oakland 7. Running play, Murray. Out across the 35-yard line, brought down by Marshall. It's a 7-yard pickup. Let's go down to the field, Evan Washburn.
Well, and you can tell Jack Del Rio's just trying to capitalize on anything positive in this game. After the Roberts touchdown, he and Derek Carr embraced, smiles. Now this fumble. You sensed early in this game, coming off that fourth quarter against Kansas City, this team was just waiting for something good to happen. It's an entirely different Raiders sideline at this point.
And it's a 2nd and 3 for Oakland as we approach 6 minutes to go in the third. This time it's Taiwan Jones getting the call. It's a 2-yard pickup. His first carry met by Von Miller.
If you look at Taiwan Jones, you can see the right knee brace that he's wearing. It's always tough as a running back to have a knee brace, but because of his injury, very important that he protect that knee. Murray back in the game for him. Apparently Murray's shoe was untied. That's why he wasn't in the game.
It's a 3rd and 1 for Oakland. They're going to measure this from this angle. He looks to be shy of about half a yard to the marker. Got a very good spot on it. Well, less than that.
Well, 6 links to that chain.
Third down after the Demaryius Thomas fumble. Raiders trying to take advantage.
And you know, if you're in this situation, the Raiders and clinging to a really desperate hopes for a wild card spot, you don't make it here. You go for it on 4th down. There's no question.
Third and 1. Three tight ends in this formation. Smith, Rivera, and Walford. Murray, the single setback.
Now! Waiting! What's up?
Carr in trouble. Carr takes the sack back at the 48. Shaquille Barrett busting through.
Well, you really got to wonder about that play selection. About a foot to go for the first down. They lose 12 yards on a pass play. Got to get rid of the ball right now, but after this pressure coming in, Barrett will pick up his 5th and a half sack of the season.
King will punt it. Shiloh Kao, who was just picked up this week, played for Gary Kubiak and Wade Phillips in Houston, waiting for him. That is out of bounds. Now remember, they were in field goal range before Carr absorbed this sack from Barrett. The defense delivers again in Denver. Brock Osweiler and the Denver Broncos have a 12-7 lead on the Oakland Raiders. 4:35 to go in the third. And the Broncos take over at the 11-yard line. Daniels, the motion man for Denver. Fake the running play. Osweiler throws it too low for Sanders. Incomplete.
Well, Brock Osweiler knows that Demaryius Thomas is better than this. Drops his pass at the goal line and then has this fumble. But Osweiler assuring and consoling his Pro Bowl wide receiver, saying, hey, man, I'm coming back to you. Good example of the young quarterback's leadership skills.
Well, Gary Kubiak said that Brock has really handled the team extremely well. They try to play to his strengths. Hillman gets met by Mack. Loss of 1 on the play. And it's 3rd and long now for Denver.
Well, Mack is going to knife in here too, Ian. He gets the running back, Hillman, before he can get to the line of scrimmage. Goes right for his legs and then gets help.
So 82 yards in this third quarter. Quite a different story than what we saw in the first half from Oakland. Denver now struggling on offense. Osweiler in the pocket. Knocked down. The Raiders stop the Broncos deep in their own territory.
This is a quarterback that's 6'8", and he's had 3 passes blocked today. That ball is released good and high, but the play here is outstanding by Autry.
Colquitt coming out of his own end zone. Jeremy Ross will get a chance here. Ross from the 41. Makes a cut. Gets drilled at the 46-yard line. That's where the Raiders will have it. Stewart with the play on special teams. Tonight, what went into making the new Star Wars movie? Find out when 60 Minutes goes behind the scenes with director J.J. Abrams. That's tonight, only CBS. Brock Osweiler having a sit-down with his quarterback coach, Greg Knapp, who used to be the offensive coordinator of the Raiders in 2 separate stints, 2012 and then back in 07 and 08. He's in his 3rd year with Denver, so he's gotten a lot of work in with Osweiler in the backup role to Peyton Manning, and now in his 4th game as the starter. Derek Carr is only in his 2nd year in the NFL, but he feels like he's packed a lot more than just a year and change into his career. Slings it to Crabtree. 4-yard pickup. You know, for Derek Carr, it goes back to his days when he was watching his older brother David Carr play in the NFL. Derek said that he would mimic everything that David did. Whatever he ate at the dinner table, Derek would eat. So you have to go back 13 years. Derek says, it feels like I've been mentally playing the position of quarterback in the NFL for a long time.
And he's getting a lot better pass protection than his poor brother David ever got.
Yeah, you're right about that.
You know, Amari Cooper still doesn't have a catch in this game on him.
2nd and 6. Carr, sideline. Oh, Walford, tremendous hands. First down, Raiders.
And this time it's against the safety, Darian Stewart. Beautiful throw by Carr, but was he inbounds? That right foot kicks up green grass.
Oakland trying to move quickly here.
And there's the red challenge flag from Gary Kubiak. Von Miller decides to fake a cramp. Von, you can get up now. The challenge play has been, flag has been thrown out there. Beautiful throw by Carr. Left foot in. That right toe is out of bounds.
Need to pass at the sideline.
It caught a little bit of white.
Yeah, he's about a size 12. Needed to be a size 11. And it kicks up that white dust there. That tells me, yep, that's out of bounds.
And Von Miller will take a walk over to the Denver sideline.
I didn't mean to insinuate that he was faking a hamstring or a cramp there. Obviously, the trainer's coming out there, but the timing was curious to allow Kubiak to hear from upstairs that this ball may have been out of bounds.
That's where Miller went down as the Raiders were trying to line up. So if this call is overturned, Miller will have to sit a play. Walford just made a fantastic catch.
He's made a couple today, hasn't he? Up over the top of Darian Stewart. But I got to believe that right toe is on the chalk.
17-yard pass play.
Yeah, that's part of being the rookie and the rookie learning process for some of these receivers. In college, obviously, 1 foot down is good. NFL, that skill to drag that back foot sometimes takes years and hours of practice.
Call on the field was a completed pass. Bill Vinovich has seen the replays and now will deliver the news, but it certainly looked like the toe was out of bounds.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field has changed. The receiver's second foot came down out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd and 6 at the 49-yard line on the Denver half. Please reset the game clock to 2 minutes and 49 seconds.
So the challenge from Gary Kubiak pays off. It's a 3rd and 6 from the 49 for Oakland. And Von Miller is on the Denver sideline. Cooper still looking for his first catch. 3rd and 6 for the Raiders. Carr throws over to that area. Incomplete. Roberts got tied up with Chris Harris Jr. and it's 4th down for Oakland.
It's going to be an out route to number 10, Seth Roberts. And he just falls down on his own trying to make a cut. Kind of overstrided right there. And the turf gave out. Incomplete.
Shiloh Kao is deep for Denver. Kao was looking for a job and actually sent a tweet to Wade Phillips, half joking, half serious, about why the Broncos didn't pick him up earlier this season. High punt from King. And this will roll out of bounds. You can't do it much better than that. 47 yards as it curls to the sideline.
You just don't see the coffin corner anymore in the NFL. This is so well done by King. He's aiming for that corner. Bounces at about the 10. Perfect.
And that's the old hidden yardage for Oakland. 2:37 to go in the 3rd.
Well, Oakland has squandered great field position in the second half, but this type of punt, flipping the field as it is, would be a real benefit to the Raiders.
Oakland opened up the half with a touchdown, but since that point, 3 consecutive 3-and-outs. On 1st down, running play to Thompson. Can't create much room there, just a yard for him, met by Dan Williams of the Raiders.
C.J. Anderson, who battled an ankle injury all week, did not participate in any practices, and he's been sorely missed today.
Anderson suffered that ankle injury in the first half last week. The victory over San Diego. Had 7 carries for 42 yards and a catch for 12 yards. He's been effective in recent weeks. 2nd and 9. Osweiler. Incomplete. Thompson, the intended receiver. It's 3rd and long for Denver.
Osweiler looks like a different quarterback here in the 3rd quarter than we saw in the first half. He's just 2 of 6 in this half. In that one, he had his receiver over the middle, just kind of yanked the ball, pulled it down and left.
So Ronnie Hillman comes in. He replaces Thompson. Peyton Manning watching from the Denver sideline. Shotgun for Osweiler. Emmanuel Sanders lines up in the backfield. Trying to get to Osweiler. Osweiler loses the football. A scrum for it in the end zone.
Safety.
It is a safety. The question, is it a 2 or is it a 7?
Well, Max Garcia recovered it for Denver. Khalil Mack with another sack and another strip sack, if you will. Right side of the screen, he's just going to overpower Schofield. Gets his left hand on Osweiler and finishes the job. Tremendous hustle, though, by Garcia to keep this from just being a 2-point play and not a 6-point play.
So a 5-point swing if the Raiders were able to get to the ball. Mayoa, they'll take the 2.
Yeah, that's what Jack Del Rio talked about yesterday when he was talking about Mac and how he's developing the finish on the quarterback. You talked about it last year and how many close sacks he got or didn't get. This year, he's getting them.
Del Rio telling us that Mac doesn't say a whole lot, lets his play do the talking.
How about the strength of his left hand and arm to reach in and grab Osweiler and not let him get away. Just an outstanding play. The left hand here, and then he punches the ball out with his right hand. Can't do much better than that.
So the free kick. Ross, the return man. Hurdles across the 30-yard line and a flag down out near the 35. Shaquille Barrett in on that stop. A little slow getting up for Denver. We've got 1:45 to play in the third.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 39. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. Oakland keeps the ball. First down.
It's Keith McGill on the penalty. A season of fan favorites and incredible competition comes to a $1 million conclusion. Find out who will emerge as sole survivor and see the Castaways reunite live Wednesday starting at 8, 7 Central, only CBS.
And you go back to that 47-yard punt by King that got out at the 2-yard line, flipping the field, putting the pressure on the Bronco offense, and this Raider defense capitalized on that great field position.
Raiders have the football at their own 23. They trail 12-9 with 1:45 to go in the third. Shotgun for Carr. Soft toss to the outside. Roberts veers out of bounds after the 9-yard pickup.
Now, if he could have led him, that would have been a 15 to 20-yard gain instead of just those 9 yards. The ball thrown slightly behind him. Roberts had to spin around to make the catch and lost all his momentum.
We asked Carr about the fourth quarter last week against Kansas City. He said, sometimes I feel like I'm trying to make every play myself. My coaches and teammates remind me it's not all on me. Murray up the middle. Derek Wolfe with the tackle. That's a 3-yard pickup, and they'll move the chains. A first down for Oakland.
One of the toughest things for a young quarterback, and especially one that's as competitive as Carr is you want to make every play. You want to fit it in there. You want to come up with a big play. Toughest thing to learn is to throw the ball away sometimes.
New set of downs at the 35. Still no Amari Cooper. Carr. It's off the hands of Cooper. Incomplete. Aqib Talib there defensively.
Yeah, you can't cover much better than that. That forced Carr to throw the ball outside away from Talib. And Cooper just couldn't quite snatch that ball.
6 targets for the electrifying rookie out of Alabama. No catches. Second and 10 for Oakland. 34 seconds to go in the third. Carr with a deep drop. Has the time. Carr underneath. Connects with Walford. But he's hit immediately by Marshall, who was locked in on the tight end. No gain on the play.
Yeah, good coverage in the secondary. As you said, it was a deep drop. That means it's going to be a deep throw. But the receivers down the field, well covered. The outlet to Walford, and Brandon Marshall running stride for stride right on his back. Kept him with no gain.
End of the third quarter with the Broncos in front of the Raiders, 12-9. We'll come back to Denver after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. AFC playoff picture. Denver at 10-2, New England at 10-2, Cincinnati lost to Pittsburgh, Bengals are 10-3, Kansas City and the Jets both are 8-5. There's Pittsburgh at 8-5 with a lot of momentum. Oakland is 5-7, just trying to stay mathematically eligible for the playoffs. But the bigger picture for Jack Del Rio is what they do in the final month and how it relates to what they do moving forward in the years to come. Flags down as we start the fourth quarter.
False start. Offense number 72. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
It's Donald Penn for Oakland.
You got to give the crowd a lot of credit for that. They have been cheering since the very end of the third quarter, trying to jack their defense up. And the first play of the fourth quarter, the Raiders go from 3rd and 9 to 3rd and 14. We've seen this story not too long ago.
On 3rd and long for the Raiders. Carr underneath. That ball was up for grabs for a moment as it bounced off of Roberts, incomplete.
Oh, a great play by Chris Harris. He was all over that little bubble screen. Second time the Raiders have tried that type of play on 3rd and real long.
Emmanuel Sanders is back returning punts.
You wear shoes like that, you got to take one back to the house, don't you?
You can see those shoes from space. Sanders loses the ball. It's up for grabs. Oakland Raiders getting down the field. They've got it. The cough up by Sanders. The Raiders take over deep in Denver territory. A 55-yard punt. Marquette King once again playing a role. Sanders could not bring it in cleanly.
It looks like John Kondo, the man that snapped it to King, is going to be the first guy under that ball and may have recovered it for Oakland. Just a mad scramble. Yeah, you see Kondo pull it out with his left arm. And the Raiders in business at the 11-yard line.
So the snapper, John Kondo, putting a smile on his head coach's face. First down at the Broncos 11, just underway on the 4th. Carr, a rollout. Looking for the lead. Carr will sky this one through the back of the end zone, incomplete.
Well, the thing he realizes is they're down by 3. So either you have it clear or you throw it away. And being at the so close to the goal line, it's an easy throwaway out of the back of the end zone. But again, Bill Musgrave electing to move the pocket, get away from that pass rush of Denver's on that last play.
Murray in the backfield. And this play whistled dead on a handoff to Murray.
Another false start by the Raiders.
False start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's Lee Smith. And it's the 4th one of the day for Oakland.
They've had 8 total penalties for 55 yards. But the false starts, those are mental errors, not physical errors.
Back it up, 2nd and 15 for the Raiders. Shotgun for Carr. Carr hooks a pass. Cooper couldn't locate it in a matchup with Talib. Talib physical with the rookie.
Well, in great position, expecting He's got a grasp of the face mask and the shoulder here.
Oof.
Right hand wrapped around the throat of Cooper. No call. Unbelievable.
It was right in front of the field judge. Third and 15. Play clock is down to 5. Play clock's down to 1. Carr indicates that he wants a timeout. First timeout called by Oakland. 14:32 to play in the fourth quarter. Thursday, only on NFL Network, the Bucs trying to get a wild card spot in the NFC. They take on the Rams. Then, special Saturday edition of Thursday Night Football, the Jets and the Cowboys. A couple of big ones this week on NFL Network. Tampa Bay at 6-7 now. 2 games behind Seattle and Minnesota in the wild card chase in the NFC. Carolina 13-0. They steamroll today to remain undefeated.
Seattle's back rolling, looking like Super Bowl participants in the last couple of years. Great home field advantage here in Denver.
The stands are shaking. Third and 15. Carr rifles open, touchdown, Michael Rivera. The touch from Carr. The Oakland Raiders take the lead in the fourth quarter in Denver.
But it almost wasn't clean, too. He bobbled it just a little bit. First touchdown catch of the year for Rivera, faking the block on the bubble screen. Great call by Bill Musgrave. They'd thrown that bubble screen on 3rd and long twice earlier in this half. They fake it that time, and Rivera secures the catch for the touchdown.
Bill Musgrave pushing the right button. Musgrave actually played quarterback for Denver in 1995 and 96. And Oakland is going for 2 here. Why? You've got a 3-point lead. Take the extra point, you're up 4. Carr tosses it, incomplete.
Well, they're going to regret that decision. That may come back to haunt them.
It's inexplicable.
We already have the 3-point lead at 15-12.
This is pretty simple math. Raiders come up empty. Coming up after the game, time permitting, Subway post-game show. JB and the rest of the crew with the latest NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Subway post-game show. You're just trying to understand the decision. Oakland going for 2. They lead 15-12. You kick the extra point, you're up 4. Take it one step further. If Denver scores a touchdown and you have 16 points on the board, you're down 3. You whiff on that 2-point try, you're now down 4. If Denver scores a touchdown and you're forced to go down the field and score a touchdown.
Well, the math doesn't make any sense. The way they made that decision, especially when you think about how good Denver's place kicker is, Brandon McManus. He's already hit 5 field goals from 50 yards. So inexplicable why you go for 2 in that case.
And look, there's a lot of time left. A lot can happen. 14:26 to go.
And the worst thing that can happen for Denver is to have to field a punt. King put one out at the 2-yard line, and then Sanders muffs the punt, sets up that touchdown.
First and 10 at the 20. Osweiler tosses it away at the feet of Hillman. Dan Williams put the heat on Brock Osweiler.
Now Williams with the heat on Osweiler, and his defensive line mates read that screen and got right in the middle of it. And Denver just looks totally different here in the second half. Osweiler was 21 of 24. He's just 3 of his last 12.
2nd and 10 for Denver. Osweiler looking downfield. Makes the connection with Owen Daniels. Daniels breaking free across midfield. Big gain on 2nd down. Chased down by Charles Woodson, 32 yards on the catch and run for the tight end.
His best pass of the second half for Osweiler, as Owen Daniels, as he's done so often in his career. Look at Charles Woodson trying to rip this ball out. And Daniels covering up.
What's up? From the 48. Over the middle. Catch is made by Demarius Thomas. He's brought down by Curtis Lofton. It's a 7-yard pickup.
10 catches now for Thomas. Good response by the Broncos.
First down this half for Denver. From the 41. What's up? The fake. Osweiler running. And Osweiler looking for the first down.
Boy, it's really close. He went head first, so he should get as much of this slide as possible, but he almost fumbles the ball as he's hit right there by Lofton. And it was good enough for the first down.
So they'll move the chains for Denver at the 38 of the Raiders. Osweiler steps up, throws underneath. Catch is made by Hillman. He gets stamped by Curtis Lofton. 3-yard pickup.
When the heat was coming from Osweiler's right side too, as Mack was bearing down on him, he stepped up into the pocket, found Hillman, and Hillman found a big collision from Lofton.
So Denver is on the move. They trail 15-12. Oakland electing to go for 2. Osweiler devoured. It's Mack with another sack. Number 3 for Khalil Mack.
Well, they're just not giving any help to Michael Schofield. Whenever Mack has been singled up with Schofield, he's been able to just push him aside and dive towards the big, tall quarterback.
And now it's a 3rd and 9 from the 36. Osweiler operating out of the gun. We'll hit the 11-minute mark of the 4th. Osweiler hits Vernon Davis, but short of a first down. Malcolm Smith there. It's a 5-yard pickup. Field goal unit is coming on for Denver. This will be a 49-yard attempt for Brandon McManus. For the tie. No good. Hit the post.
And Smiling Jack loves that, doesn't he? Good snap, good hold, and a lot of drama. And it's rejected.
Twists and turns in Denver. Oakland in front, 15-12 in the 4th.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Honda. Hurry in for great deals during Happy Honda Days. FedEx, how the holidays arrive. And by State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com.
To follow up on the 2-point attempt that the Raiders had earlier, Kondo suffered a shoulder injury. So Jack Del Rio deciding that without the long snapper, he is probable to return, but in the heat of the moment may have decided that they're better off trying a two-pointer than attempting an extra point with a backup long snapper.
Full start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And that would at least explain the mentality on the two-point try. Let's check in with Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, yeah, just to follow up some further context here, John Kondo was in the locker room. That's why they went for a two-point, or after that touchdown. He was in the locker room getting his shoulder looked at. Now he's back out on the field taking snaps. He's good to go, but that's why they went for that too, according.
Now the timing could not have been worse for the Raiders at that moment as Murray goes up the middle. Now meanwhile, the Raiders defense again not allowing Denver to get all the way down the field and get a touchdown. McManus with a long field goal try, he doinks it off the post, and Oakland maintains this 15-12 lead with under 10 minutes to go.
And Kondo got hurt reaching for that muffed punt by Emmanuel Sanders and recovering it. He had his right arm extended while the other players were diving on top of him, trying to get the ball away from him.
And a give. Murray crosses the 40-yard line for 2 yards. Todd Davis, first man there.
Well, 59 is Kondo. Watch his right arm here. All that weight comes right down. Asante hits him in the back and may have some type of shoulder injury. You can see the brace on his right bicep that they put on when he went to the locker room.
Third and 8. Oakland up by 3. Shotgun for Carr. Knocked down.
Well, Malik Jackson started the game doing exactly that, blocking a Derek Carr pass. And this one's huge on third and about 8.
Now this has been the danger zone for Denver. On the receiving ends of punts. Sanders standing at his own 11. High punt. Sanders not taking any chances. Fair catch called for. Broncos will have it with 8:48 remaining after the 45-yard punt from King. Coming up following the game, time permitting, Subway postgame show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cower, scores and highlights all coming up on the Subway postgame show.
Hey, respawn!
Broncos have been limited to 55 yards in the second half. They trail Oakland 15-12. Zigzag from Hillman. And a flag down as Hillman is dropped at the 20.
Holding. Offense number 80. After this is the goal. Repeat first down.
You know, you're having a good day. You've got 3 sacks, a strip sack for a safety, and then when the official throws the flag, you catch it. Good fingertip catch by Mack.
Great hands. You know, comparisons have been made. Mack to Von Miller. You can see it.
Oh, yeah. Great burst off the line of scrimmage and really closing quickly to the quarterback.
First and 17 now. Denver backed up. Deep drop. Already have a safety. Gets rid of it. Thompson with the catch. Brought down to the 15 by Thorpe. 8 yards on the toss to the running back.
Well, Osweiler's really being pressured here in the second half by the Raiders. The pressure from the left side that time comes from Autry one more time. Good job by Osweiler stepping up in the calm spot of the pocket.
They've had twice as many running plays compared to, well, twice as many passing plays compared to running plays. 44 pass plays. And here's another. Osweiler out to the flat. Thompson catches and accelerates to the 20. 5-yard gain again with Carey and Heaney combining to bring him down.
You got to give the Raider defense a lot of credit. 34 yards rushing today for Denver. And Denver only had 43 yards rushing against the Raiders in their first game. So Ken Norton Jr.'s defensive plan to stop this stretch running game has worked perfectly in 2 games.
Huge play here on a 3rd and 4 at the Denver 20. Motion man is Davis. Operating out of the gun. Rush is coming. Osweiler, it's dropped! Oh, we saw this a couple of weeks ago with Demaryius Thomas, where he just could not hold on to the football. T.J. Carey over there defensively for Oakland. Should have been a first down.
Yeah, well thrown ball by Derek Carr as Mack was coming on the pass rush, but an inexplicable drop on a crucial 3rd down by Demaryius Thomas.
Colquitt. High in the air, Jeremy Ross under it. He's got room from the 31. Ross, sideline. Out of bounds. Pulled down by Webster in Denver territory. 49-yard punt, 22-yard return, and a 3-point lead for Oakland.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart. Walmart has everything you need to share wonder every day. And by Subway. Make your sub deluxe with 50% more meat.
For those of you expecting to see 60 Minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS. The Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Ian Eagle, Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew. 15-12, Oakland in front. 60 Minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately after the game, except on the West Coast. Raiders have it at the Denver 47, 3 tight end formation. Bootleg, Carr throwing, open man, it's Walford! Carr connects with a tight end.
Bird, this play is right out of Denver's playbook. It's a bootleg for Carr, throwing to a tight end down the field. Walford gets by Stewart with ease, and Carr right on target. There's the fake to Murray, and then Carr has 2 receivers open, decides to take the deep one, good for 21.
Cincinnati lost earlier today. New England plays later in Houston. Denver has the #1 seed within grasp if they can win out. Handoff, Murray sidesteps a tackler and takes it to the 25-yard line. Josh Bush in on that stop. Broncos interaction at 10-2. The Cincinnati loss brings them to 10-3. Patriots coming up against Houston. And Oakland 5-7 on the periphery.
And Cincinnati's lost more than just the game. How long will Andy Dalton be out with a right thumb injury?
2nd and 9 for the Raiders. At the Denver 25. We're down to 5:24 to go in the 4th. Running play again. Murray is stopped. No gain.
And the thing that Carr has got to keep in mind here, you have Sebastian Janikowski as your field goal kicker. He loves kicking in Denver, and he's got plenty of leg for this distance if they have to settle for a field goal.
Denver uses a timeout. Broncos have 2 remaining. Told you about the situation with Kondo, the long snapper that was injured on the fumble recovery. So he would be a part of it if the Raiders don't convert here. Third and 9. Out of the gun, Carr. Rainbow up in the air. Incomplete. Amari Cooper stopped. It's fourth down.
Carr has only thrown passes, completed passes to 4 receivers, none to Amari Cooper, who came into the game as the top rookie wide receiver in the NFL with 62 catches.
Kondo is in to snap it. 43-yard attempt for Janikowski. Looking to add to the Oakland lead. High snap. Janikowski. Oh, he missed it!
Like the high snap, threw off the timing. It was a good hold, good catch by King, but getting it down took a little bit longer than normal. Janikowski rushed it and pushed it to the left. So the injury to Kondo shows up on the very first try after he had to go to the locker room for a shoulder brace. And just that much.
The Raiders have suffered 8 straight losses to the Denver Broncos. They're clinging to a 3-point lead with just over 5 minutes to play. Osweiler in the pocket. He throws. It's handled by Davis. And tackled at the 37 by Thorpe. It's a 4-yard pickup through the air. Injured Raider on the play. It's Nico Thorpe.
That's the second time today that Thorpe has been shaken up. See that hit?
Medical staff checking on Thorpe. Last time, Oakland beat Denver, 2011 season opener. Janikowski nailed what was an NFL record at the time, 63-yard field goal. McFadden went off 150 yards. Jason Campbell threw for a touchdown, ran for another. Raiders held on, a 23-20 victory. Nico Thorpe is off the field. It's a 2nd and 6 for Denver with 4:53 remaining. Dexter McDonald, a rookie from Kansas, 7th-round pick, is now in. Look out! Osweiler! Major heat from Oakland.
Well, we've seen Mack lining up on one side of the defensive line. Here he comes to the other side and just overpowers Ryan Harris. 9-yard loss on the play.
It's a clinic right now.
He reminds me of Derek Thomas right now with what he's doing.
3rd and 15. Osweiler pump and throw. Catch is made by Hillman. Takes a big shot across the 35. And what's the thought process now for Gary Kubiak? It's 4th down.
Yeah, and you already burned a timeout here in the second half. So apparently Kubiak's saying, let's go for it on 4th down.
We go under the 4-minute mark. Fourth and 5 for Denver. Osweiler. Oh, it's dropped! Vernon Davis had a clear first down. It was the right play call.
It's been that type of afternoon, especially the second half for Denver. Drop passes, muff punts, and unable to convert on a critical 4th down play.
Critical mistake for the Broncos. The Raiders with a 15-12 lead, 3:45 remaining, and Oakland takes over at the Denver 37. The veteran, Vernon Davis, 2-time Pro Bowler, came over in a deal with San Francisco with a huge drop. Handoff to Murray.
and they continue to pound the middle of that Denver defense, at some point they're going to have to turn Murray loose to the outside and let him use that long stride and speed. Denver with 2 timeouts, they got to start thinking about when they want to start using them.
We're down to 3:20 and counting left in the fourth.
And they're already in field goal range for Janikowski. But that's not been the problem, has it? It's been the snap by Kondo and that last one that caused his miss.
Second and 9.
What's up?
It's a toss for Murray. Tries to go to the other side. Gets a block. Murray. Flag down. A lot of them.
Yeah, they're going to get Amari Cooper for a block in the back on Aqib Talib.
Now that's going to be a costly loss.
That'll push Janikowski out of field goal range.
.253 to play.
During the run, illegal block in the back. Offense number 89. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
What do you think?
Oh, good call. Out in the middle of everywhere. Wide open spaces there. And I don't think Cooper had to make contact with Talib. I think he could have allowed Murray to make a move on him. But that penalty is a killer all the way back to the 45-yard line.
So it's second and 19 for Oakland.
And where's the Denver pass rush been here in the second half? They gave Carr so much problems in the first half. His offensive line's done a good job for the young quarterback here in the second.
Reese in the backfield with Olawale. They give it to Reese. He's ridden down at the line of scrimmage. And a timeout taken. Wolf and Marshall with a stop. NFL Today update. We're heading to New York and JB.
Green Bay with some breathing room.
Yeah, only up by 7. Eddie Lacy's going to take us. No, James Stark's going to take us 30 yards out. Puts Green Bay up 21-7. Less than 5 minutes to go in the game.
Back to Iron Eagle, Dan Fouts and Evan Washburn.
All right, JB, Coach Cowher, we appreciate it. Green Bay at 8-4. Half-game lead over Minnesota in the NFC North. Denver's down to 1 timeout. We're down to 2:48 to play. And it's a 3rd and long for the Raiders. Working out of the gun. It's a handoff. Murray, and it fooled no one. Antonio Smith throws him down for a loss of 4. And Denver has called its final timeout. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes goes behind the scenes at the making of the new Star Wars movie, followed by winter finales of Madam Secretary and The Good Wife, then a new CSI Cyber, only CBS.
And now the drama of the long snap by John Kondo. More stress put on the right shoulder of Kondo. Snap travels back about 15 yards.
Well, that's why we have this 3-point differential, because Kondo wasn't available to snap it on an extra point. They went for 2, didn't get it. Marquette King standing at his own 38. Deep man is Sanders at the 7 of Denver. Snap's okay. King trying to place this one. Good coverage downfield. Sanders a fair catch. 42-yard punt. The Broncos will have it at the 8. Down by 3. 2:35 left on the clock.
It's been a struggle in the second half for the Broncos on offense. You can see just no points. And a lucky safety there. Actually, that could have turned into 6 points for the Raiders.
Denver is out of timeouts. They'll have the 2-minute warning. Now the Broncos open up on their own 8, trailing 15-12. Shotgun. Osweiler slings it. Sliding grab is made by Daniels. 8-yard pickup. Clock is rolling. 2:23 and counting.
That's a real clutch catch by Daniels in a crowd.
Moving quickly here. Osweiler again checks it down. This time it's Hillman. Good enough for a first down with that catch, 7 yards.
It'd be good to get a playoff here before the 2 minutes.
2:05 left. They'll get the playoff. Osweiler. Room there for Hillman. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning after the 6-yard pickup. 1:56 to play. In Denver. Broncos, Raiders locked up in a tight one. Oakland trying to snap the streak against the Broncos. Will Brandon McManus get a chance for Denver? They need 32 yards to get McManus into the range of 57 yards, which is his career long. 2nd and 4 for the Broncos, 1:56 to play. They trail 15-12. Osweiler in trouble. Osweiler brought down. Khalil Mack, 5 sacks on the day for Mack.
Well, they're just not giving Michael Schofield any help. One-on-one, and Mack is just running right by him.
Mack is not human. Floater upstairs. Out of bounds. Sanders took a shot. Incomplete.
Big shot by T.J. Carey. Raiders came with a 3-man pass rush. Sanders got beyond David Amerson, and then the big hit there ensures the incompletion.
4th down for Denver.
Mack, 5 sacks.
Osweiler steps up. Osweiler brought down. Launches it at the end of the play. How he got rid of it, I have no idea. It's irrelevant. This time, Danico Autry putting the pressure on Osweiler.
And it was just a 3-man rush. Of course, one of those guys was Khalil Mack, who didn't even bother rushing the quarterback. He's got to be exhausted. Danico Autry, though, he rushes the quarterback right over here. Much as he stays after, Osweiler never saw him. There's the desperation underhand toss.
The Raiders react. This defense in the second half has been superb. Denver has no timeouts left. Oakland will take a knee. A Mack attack in Denver.
Yeah, they kept the Broncos out of the end zone for the entire ball game. Bailed their offense out. Their offense had negative yardage in the first half. They give Jack Del Rio and his defensive squad and the offense bouncing back as they did. Tremendous win for the Raiders.
Down to 50 seconds left. Mack has tied a Raider record with those 5 sacks held by Howie Long, the Hall of Famer. It'll be the first loss for Denver since Osweiler took over as the starting quarterback. The Oakland Raiders snap an 8-game losing streak to the Denver Broncos. Jack Del Rio back in Denver and walking out of Mile High with a win. A potentially damaging loss for the Broncos in their chase for the #1 seed. Oakland will keep its playoff hopes alive mathematically, but even bigger picture, it's a breakthrough win for the organization within the AFC West. So Denver's now 10-3. Cincinnati's 10-3. The Patriots are 10-2. And if New England wins out, it'll be the Pats with home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs. Final score, Raiders 15, the Broncos 12. For Dan Fouts, Evan Washburn, our entire NFL on CBS crew, this is Ian Eagle saying so long from Denver. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes, followed by Madam Secretary, The Good Wife, and CSI Cyber. You've been watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. Have a great night, everybody.